This is the scene from the Mexico-U.S. border just a few hours before Donald Trump takes office. Border cities such as Ciudad Juárez, where I'm currently standing, have been preparing for a mass deportation for several weeks now. 25 temporary shelters have been set up by the Mexican federal government along the border to receive deportees. And in this city of 1.5 million inhabitants, just across the border from El Paso, Texas, also some churches have expanded their spaces to give shelter and provide food and clothes to the migrants, but nobody really knows what to expect from the new immigration policies. And most importantly, exactly how many migrants are going to be deported here to the U.S.-Mexico border in the next days or weeks. Despite uncertainty, actions have already been taken to prevent or at least attend to an upcoming crisis as best they can. Valeria León from Ciudad Juárez.
Like Donald Trump's new administration is taking shape. He's already picked a so-called czar. Trump says Tom Homan will oversee, quote, all deportation of illegal aliens back to their country of origin. Of course, that is a quote there. Homan has been a controversial figure. He was acting ICE director of the first Trump administration and supports Trump's mass deportation plan. Here's what he told 60 Minutes.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Why should a child who is an American citizen have to pack up and move to a country that they don't know?
Because their parent obviously entered the country illegally, had a child knowing he was in the country illegally, so he created that crisis.
Man, as we can see, Trump is not playing. Now, did you see what that southern border looked like, knowing that Trump was coming back in office today? We haven't seen the southern border that clean. I don't know if it's ever been. And it's amazing how when people know that real leadership is coming back and people that mean what they say are coming back in, ain't it amazing how the southern border just kind of already started regulating itself? Now, what we have to watch out for is the fact that these Democrats, these progressive liberals, they're going to do everything they can to try to put this in the worst light possible. And for whatever reason, I mean, I believe I know what it is, but I don't like to speculate and just throw out hypotheticals. But what it looks like to me, it really looks like their intention was getting all of these illegals over here, because people keep saying 10 million, 11 million. It was 10 million illegal immigrants in here when 2020 hit. We've let another 15 or 20 million in. If they're saying the number is 10 million that they know, think about the gotaways. Think about the gotaways. Not even just the gotaways, the ones that got in that wasn't even getaways. They just got through and nobody knew that they were there. Why? Because the border was understaffed. Joe Biden them stripped it. They were pulling border agents off their posts to process paperwork to literally feed babies formula, while drug smugglers and coyotes, who are people that transport people from one country to another one, are dropping people off left and right. You got illegal immigrants killing American citizens, not to mention the robberies, taking over apartment complex. But these liberals, these progressives, they say the most racist things when they talk about them too. Who's going to pick your fruit? Who's going to pick your vegetation? So it seems to me like they're trying to bring in a slave class. And you know what would happen? All of the black people that are waking up and realizing, hey, this Democrat Party is not only not for black people, it's not good for the country, are waking up and shifting more right. They already thought they would have a built-in base that would be loyal to them for the next 10, 20 years, all on the fact of, well, you let my family stay here illegally. As a matter of fact, check out what MSDNC had to say about what's happening.
Donald Trump is keeping his promise to launch mass deportations right away with the first major raid expected the day after his inauguration. The Wall Street Journal reports that on Tuesday morning, at least 100 ICE officers will start rounding up undocumented immigrants in Chicago. According to the Journal, the operation is, quote, a way of making an example of so-called sanctuary cities, end quote. NBC has confirmed this report and says ICE could target additional cities next week, including Washington, D.C., Denver, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles. This crackdown comes after 10 Senate Democrats joined Republicans in advancing another part of Trump's immigration agenda. The Laken-Riley Act would allow ICE to detain and deport undocumented immigrants accused of nonviolent petty crimes like shoplifting. Trump is also planning dozens of extreme executive orders on day one, from imposing 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada to eliminating birthright citizenship in the United States. Joining me now, Jennifer Rubin, co-founder and editor-in-chief of The Contrarian and MSNBC political analyst, and Ashley Etienne, former communications director for both Vice President Kamala Harris and former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and former senior advisor to Presidents Obama and Biden. That's all the time we have now for all your...
Well, what strikes me is, on one hand, this is the beginning of a series of cruel, petty actions, because these people are not a threat, frankly, to anyone. But it also strikes me that this is not a plan to deport 11 million people. There is no plan to deport 11 million people because that's impossible. And he would destroy the economy of this country. So it's going to be very interesting to see, is his base disappointed when 11 million people aren't shipped home? And frankly, what happens to the Steve Bannon, Elon Musk battle? We have a serious conflict within the Republican Party. But to Ashley's point, I think Democrats have to be speaking with one voice. They have to find those stories of people who are sympathetic, just like the Republicans always do,
right,
and tell their story. Allow Americans to see what these people are doing to individuals, to families, to communities, and to the economy of the cities that they're in.
Ashley.
Now, did you hear this woman? Nothing she said was pro-America. Nothing that she said was pro-American citizen. Every concern she had is only about the illegal immigrants. And since when? I mean, listen, I'm compassionate. I don't want to see a mother and their child hurt. I don't want to see anybody die. I want people to be able to live and achieve their dreams, but I also know people who sat on waiting lists for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years to get here the right way. And man, and when they did it, they were so happy. They were so proud. They had to take tests. They had to do all types of things. But these other folks that we don't know who they are, they're not vetted. They're just getting dropped off here. American citizens are dying. And these folks have the audacity to get on TV and still try to downplay the negative impact of flooding millions of people on top of folks who are already struggling. Look at areas like Chicago. Now, the media make you think like, oh, Chicago's housing these migrants great. No, they're not. There's all types of infighting amongst the black and brown people. It's already tight in an urban area, and you take more people and stuff them in an urban area where folks are already fighting over crumbs. Then you look at places like Denver that have been Aurora, right outside of Denver, Aurora, Colorado. Migrants took over apartment complexes. And I saw a lady on CBS News say, well, there's only 5 complexes that have been taken over. It wasn't the whole city. As if that was a big gotcha, because there was only 5 apartment complexes that the migrants took over rather than the whole city. This is nuts. And watch out, because what they're going to be trying to hit you with is scenes like this. People that are at the Mexican border was waiting to get in, but now it's here. Trump is back. And look at this clip. Now, did you notice all the phones of the reporters right there and super close? Look at the people. If you get a chance, go back and look at the video. Look at the people around her. None of them are crying. None of them are acting buck wild. And we learn, especially with CNN and MSDNC, they stage a lot of these things. That lady had no tears coming down her face. Now, I'm not saying she's somebody that wasn't upset that she didn't get into the U.S., but this wasn't a secret. Everyone knew that Trump was coming back. November the 5th was over a month ago. And she's just heartbroken that bad, the only one out there, and they just happened to get her on camera. They're about to flood our televisions with all of these images and make it seem like it's such inhumane treatment going on with these deportations. No, what's inhumane is the fact that American citizens lost their lives, and our president and vice president were more concerned about how the president referred to that person as an illegal rather than a murderer like they are. Look at what's happening. You know, if you're watching this video, you already are on the right side, no pun intended. But if you're somebody that's just been stuck and you're looking for information and you came across this video, how can you support the Democrat Party? They literally are the party of slavery. They literally are the party of Jim Crow. They literally are the party that did that filibuster, the 1964 Civil Rights Bill. There was a Democrat president who pushed it. But that was Republicans who voted for black people to have more civil rights. And the party just claimed it, just like they do with everything else. They claim what they think is a W. And then when we dig and we start scratching, we say, hold on. These Democrats have ran all of these major cities that have the worst crime, the highest levels of poverty. And yet the people keep voting them in. It's like everybody being pissed off about Trump saying, I don't like the way he speaks. That's because they're used to being lied to. They've never had somebody that tells them the truth that's in a political position. Because Trump's not a politician. He's a businessman who got into politics. And we need more of them. We got J.D. Vance, Vivek. And there's a whole lot of other self-made millionaires, men and women, who have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and know how to manage a budget, know how to manage people. Think about this. Do you realize that politicians, especially career-long politicians, they've never built anything? Not the business folks that decide to get in politics to make a change. I'm talking about those that came straight out of college like Joe Biden, like Kamala Harris, who got right into politics. These folks have never built anything. They've never really had to manage a budget. And so you put them in charge of this corporation called the United States, and look at what happened. Look at what happened. Ran us almost off the cliff. But luckily, Americans are smart. We love this country. And we made the right turn before going off of that cliff. So I just wanted to warn you, be careful. Don't let the imagery and these videos they're about to be showing tug on your heartstring, because they're not going to show you the videos of inside those people's houses when they were being held at gunpoint. They're not going to show you the video of Laken Riley being assaulted and murdered. They're not going to show you the video of the children, the over 500,000 children that are missing right now. They can't find them. Nobody knows where they are. 500,000? And we're concerned, and you got these people concerned about how an illegal immigrant feel that came over here illegally. They broke the law to get here. And so good riddance to the CBP app. Good riddance to the whole catch and release. Good riddance to all of it. And welcome back to common sense, America first, and our secure borders. Man, I just wanted to jump on and share that with you. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button. I'll never ask you for a cash app, never ask you for a super chat. But your like, hitting that like button is currency, because it helps distribute and disperse the video where more people can see it. We want to continue to wake people up. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe. And then hit the notification bell and select all, so you'll be updated when I release new videos. And other than that, I'm Brian Maxwell. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you at the top. Let's make America great again. Over and out.